And she's a bully, and she plays it off so well. I believe her.
She knows it.
Yeah.
I know.
And she wears it with pride.
Yeah, she's so aware.
Like a badge of honor.
Exactly. The lights are on, the curtain's up. This is Steps to the Stage.
Folks at home, do you have a business, small or otherwise, that isn't pulling in traffic the way you want it to? Well, it might be because they don't have something to remember you by. And that's why today we are sponsored by Graphic Details Inc., Signs and Displays. They will print out your banners, they'll cut vinyl, they'll do window graphics for the company cars. We're talking business cards, banner stands, LCD displays, tabletop displays, logos, all in full living color. Again, that is Graphic Details Inc. here in Chino, California. Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to Steps to the Stage, the 7th Street Theater podcast where I talk to the community theater professionals you know and love. Today, we are talking about a tale of how gossip and rumors and one lie can twist the lives of those around you almost entirely, irreparably. We're talking about the Children's Hour. I have the director, Toni Lynd.
Hi.
And then we have my friends,
Tiffany McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Lay.
Madison Diaz.
Thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Toni, why don't you start off a brief synopsis of the show and sort of what drew you to it and inspired you to take this on as a directorial project?
Well, it is about two women that are friends, and they start a boarding school. And it's actually based on a true story that dates back many years ago.
1800s, right?
And this was written in 1937. And there's this girl who is very upset with the two teachers because they won't let her go to the boat races. So for that, she wants to punish them and start spreading lies. And this is what happens when the lies get told over and over, and the reactions of everybody else, and how it actually destroys the two women, the school. It's incredible. Why did it draw me? Oh my gosh. Look at right now with all what happens with the lies and social media. And it's just, I think it's a timely story, and it holds up very well. And drama. I really appreciate drama. I know a lot of our patrons really want to see the comedy. We talked about that in play selection. They like comedy, but there has to be drama. And the drama makes us appreciate the comedy and everything else more. So this is one of the reasons it draws me. And the trick for me, make it real. Make it real. It's not a melodrama. These aren't cartoon characters. These are real people. And how can I make it truthful? And I think they did a fabulous job. Yes.
Would you mind delving a bit more into the why now aspect of this? You mentioned sort of social media.
Yes. Because, you know, how gossip is told. And bad news travels faster than good news. It just simply does. And how do you get out of it? Once people have perceived this is the truth, how do you back off from that? How do you change their minds? How do you do that? And this is a perfect example of how that happens. And look at today. I mean, right now, the political climate, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And there's a lot of people that are divided, and some believe this, some believe that. And that's what happens when you have somebody spreading lies. And it's a factor that's been around forever. And it simply, it really doesn't go away. So fight for the truth.
Yes. Absolutely. I like what you said sort of about how once the lies are spoken, it can't really be taken back, even once the truth comes out, because there are.
Yes, exactly. It's so. How do you make up for it? How do you do it? And that's what their dilemma is, and that's why this is so important to them. That it doesn't. They don't know how to go on with their lives, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also very moving and very important because it comes up with strength of character and everything else. And like I said, because they're believable, I think people are going to recognize some of these people. I think they're going to say, oh, I know that. You know, and you? Yeah, they're going to know you.
Of course, I love what you said about being real, because I think this is a very real show, and the stakes are, of course, very real.
Yes.
And why don't we talk about how we make it real with our actors here? Tiffany, why don't you answer some of the same questions that I asked Toni about sort of what drew you to this play?
Sure. I know, like Toni said, the audiences are asking for comedy, and that seems to have been kind of taken a more steps forward, more upfront. People are asking for more comedy. Theater, doing more comedies, they're doing more musicals, especially coming out of COVID.
Yes.
But for actors, while that's great, dramas for me are what feed my soul. If I can't really go home and on the drive, I'm going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to say those words or I get to say those words. That's what makes it really important for me. So especially that was one of the things that drove me out here to do August Osage last year. Same thing. That drama, being able to talk about real issues with real people. And with this show in particular, this show has been a bucket list for me for about 15 years now. There were 2 other productions I wasn't able to audition for over the last 15 years. So when I saw it was announced last year and that Toni was directing, I was like, yep, I'm driving all the way out to Chino again. I don't care what that takes. But it's getting to tell that story. Classic theater isn't done as often. I love Arthur Miller, but sometimes that tends to be all we do. So we don't do some of the other classic a la contemporary stories. And it is important. And I have 7 nieces. So for me, stepping in and being a part of a story that has to do with girls in particular is a big deal. And, I was bullied as a kid. So like for me, I'm like, I get it. I know what it's about. So stepping in and being able to tell different parts of that story and the after effects of it are one of the main reasons that brought me out.
So I'm glad you mentioned Arthur Miller because we will get into that a little bit later.
I have thoughts.
Exactly.
Serious thoughts.
I love Arthur Miller.
I do too.
I direct many of Arthur Miller's.
I do too, but that
Okay.
tends to my point is though that tends to be for some people that's they're like we did Arthur Miller, that's the only drama we have to do, and I'm like there are so many more, and I do think that we need to do Miller all the time, but then we don't just stop there.
Yeah.
We need more.
Absolutely. Tracy, would you mind talking about what brought you to this show?
Well, actually, I had never read the play until about maybe 3 days before the auditions happened. I had heard of it. My husband actually played Joe Carden in a production of it way back when. And so he knew of it. So I read his copy of it. And I was really drawn to it. I'll echo Tiffany in the fact that as an actor, I'm very much drawn to the drama. And to, if I can make someone cry in the audience, I have done my job. I like doing that. I love to make people laugh as well. Sometimes comedies are actually a little bit harder, I think, at times, because what you find funny, somebody else may not find funny. But I feel like with drama, it can pull anybody into it. And that's our goal here with this one, is to draw people into this story. I play a teacher, which is not too much of a stretch for me since I am a teacher. But having, I also have my daughter in it with me, Delaney, so that's been fun. And to have her come along and play with the grown-ups has also been fun. And she actually, it was really her wanting to audition that kind of pushed me over the edge to go ahead and audition. I was like, all right, well, if she's going to audition and I'm driving out here anyway, I'm going to go for it. I'll go ahead and do it.
That's so cool. Yeah. And you will absolutely get tears.
I hope so.
No, you will.
Yes.
Yes, and yes, you will. Yes.
Yes.
Madison, would you like to talk about sort of what drew you to this show?
So I had never read it. I had never seen it. I actually only watched like 10 minutes before the audition. But what drew me to Mary is I thought it would be really fun to play her. She was so evil and it was just such a fun character idea to play, and I was like, I've got to do this.
Yes.
I saw it on the Children's Community Theater Instagram. I was like, they need kids. I might be able to get that. And so I did it, and it was and I had a blast.
Mary is such a fun character, so cunning and
We
clever.
use fun, and she's not fun.
She's so fun to
Interesting.
play.
How about that?
It's fun to play. Yeah.
Yes, that's more what I was talking about.
Fun to play.
Yes. Tiffany, did we get you talking about sort of what drew you to your character?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Audrey Hepburn played her in the film.
Yes.
Which is funny for me because I played Sabrina Fair before. So this is the second time I've gotten to play an Audrey Hepburn character got transferred for film. But the thing with Karen is that she has rose-colored glasses on, I think, through the majority of the show. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when she's faced to where she has to take them off, she goes from just I think most people lower their glasses and very carefully are like, let's tiptoe through the tulips. And she's kind of takes them off. She chucks them against the wall and goes to completely the other side of it. Which I think when you're in like what would be considered trauma, emotional trauma situation, she just does instinctively. I think instincts come out first. And I think that's one of the things that I like about her is that once she makes up her mind, she just kind of drops the wall and changes course.
It's strong.
And that's difficult to do. That's kind of the thing that you talk yourself up to do when you're alone. Okay, I'm going to walk in the room and I'm going to do this and I'm going to say this. And she doesn't have prep time. Like things happen, someone says something and she just goes boop, and goes left. And there's a lot of strength in that, which is very interesting to me. To just be able to have such conviction in the decision that you're making right at the moment. And so that's different, especially for me, because I'm kind of like, let's carefully walk through. And so being able to play someone that just kind of goes, nope, here you go. It's neat. And being able to she's emotionally attached to every single person in the show. She's sort of the one person that has a relationship with every single character. Yeah. Which is interesting in itself. I'm not isolated from anybody.
Well, and sort of what you're talking about leads back into what I was saying with Toni about how things you say that can't be taken back. Because even when the people around you say wholeheartedly, I believe you and you're fine, that almost encourages you to push them away even further.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely the feeling of the mistrust of humanity for Karen. I think it's, yes, I believe you. Oh, no, now I don't trust anybody. Yeah. And that's kind of what it comes down to, the questioning of everybody else. And the way to handle that best for her is to protect herself, and everyone else needs to go away.
We spent 3 hours one night character development. Everybody just talked about their character and the character arc, what was their purpose in the show. It was fascinating. I thought that was one of the best rehearsals ever because everybody got to own what it is that their intention was and how they had to come out. And so we had discussions. I mean, what is to be left? What is the message? What is, every character has one. So it was important that we established that. And for Karen, it was definitely, she's the audience. She's got the hope, and that's what we needed. So she has to play that hope. And so we can all go on. I'm serious.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah, that character study was very, very helpful, I think, because, Toni would ask us, write out a history of your character. And so you had to reflect back on that, like, what is Martha's relationship to Karen before this point in their lives? And it was interesting because I read mine, and then Tiffany read hers, and we had very similar backgrounds for the relationship between the two. And I also had to I wrote about the relationship that Martha has with her aunt, and why is that such a contentious relationship. And so it was really interesting, and I think it definitely helped because I have that in the back of my head when we're doing the scenes. I've got this, made up history.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really, and it's really helped.
Yeah. There was an exercise we did similar to that in school once where we had to write out a character's like from birth till death,
Right.
like the entire timeline, just to completely get like the full scope of their worldview. Yeah. And so, would you mind talking a little bit more about this one rehearsal session where you got deeper into the character, or have we?
Well, it was really interesting to me because I had them do it, and then they had to present it to me. So I wanted to say, and they don't want to admit some of it. You don't really, they weren't ready to admit all that. But then I said, no, you have to. We have to go there. And you have to be strong. I told Karen, you have to be strong. You have to come up with it. Because she was thinking, I don't know no, So we took their history and their development and what it had to do with the show. How did that do that? And for your character, what did it do for you?
If you need high-quality headshots or other professional photo work done, visit Xochi Neri Photography at fb.me/xneri-photos.
For me, I had a lot of collaboration with Paige, who plays my grandma, and with Kristian, who plays Joe, because they're the only people related to me. And so I was like, well, I think this should happen. I think this should, that you should only have sons at this. And it was like, how do I interact with them with this fake persona? Because I don't believe that Mary is her true self throughout the entirety of this. I think she's lying every step of the way and pretending to be something she's not. So I have to both put on this character that looks believable, but also looks a little fragile, that it could fall apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Since she's not being herself at all. So I have to be like, okay, I interact with my grandma like this, and I interact with the teachers like this, and I interact with the students like this. And that was like a thing that I like was immediately jotting down. I was like, I have ideas. And I shared them. It was really fun.
Yes, we were all sharing, like, anytime somebody shares, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. You're right. And then making connections to, something somebody said about their character and connecting it to your own character. And it was really interesting.
And we were all giving opinions like, oh, wait, I think this should happen. Oh, I think this should happen. And then it would like go on for like 20 minutes. Just a tangent.
We didn't always see eye to eye.
I was going to say, it was interesting because the characters, unlike where you do family dramas and they're all related. So I think that while you have opinions about your characters, there's still something in the back of your mind going, but I'm related to this person. There's only few people that are actually related in the show. And there were a couple times, we got a little hot.
Heated.
We got a little hot and heated about how we felt about each other. And I don't even know if Toni knows this, but one of the actresses came to me after the one rehearsal and was like, I hope we're okay. Like, I hope we're, like, I was just expressing my opinion. I hope we're okay. And I was like, yeah, we're good. Like, it's cool, but hey, I still think this. But that was interesting. It was interesting because you become passionate, and then when you don't have a relationship with the person, with the character that you're kind of having a discussion with, you don't have as much protection for that anymore. So the aggression towards it that you feel when you start to live in your character definitely starts coming out more in your defense of your character and your protection of your character.
I think that I have. I really did a great job casting as usual, but seriously, they're all so willing to challenge themselves to give that emotional thing. This is so many emotions and so many levels, and they are not afraid, and they do it. And I say, nah, maybe do this. They're willing to try it again. They're willing to do this. You can't ask for more than that from actors. That's why the truth is coming. It's because they're so willing to make it real, and that there has to be a reason that they're going to go this far, act this or do that, and all of them do that. It's amazing to me. I actually have cried several times in the rehearsal period. I mean, myself, I know what's going to happen. I know what they're supposed to do, but they really wound me. So it's that good. Yeah. It's that good.
Any other notable people in the cast that you would like to point out?
Yes.
Sorry.
Paige Polcene plays the grandma, and it's a great role. She has a wonderful role, and her righteousness is a theme of the show, and she identifies with righteousness and acts upon it. And it's another reason that everything falls apart. People think they're right, and they will do things and say things because they believe they're right. And it comes from their heart. They believe it. They think they're doing the right thing, but it wounds people, and it's not always right. But she plays it very, very well. And the Aunt Lily, which is played by Mary Reichert, she's a great character. She's an actress, and she's just she causes so much trouble. She's so mean to everybody. She only thinks of herself, and she does a great job playing that off. And poor Martha. She has Martha has had a terrible relationship with her, and tries still to take care of her and do it. She's a pitiful person. So they do great. And all the girls, they all come through. Every one of them are doing something. And Joseph, the guy that plays Joseph, he is Chris. He is wonderful, and he was in Funny Mirrors.
Yes.
So he is Kristian Merrill. He is he's used to acting on camera,
Okay.
So I had to get him to be bigger
Yes.
and everything. So, and he just wants to do it so well, and he appreciates direction. He takes it so well. Can we do that again, he says? So anyway, I'm so proud of every single one of them. I really believe that we got a heck of a cast. And I think people are going to be blown away. I honestly do. I wouldn't take full credit.
That's crazy.
It's a cast I feel like I can trust every single person that I'm on the stage with. My character Martha doesn't have as much interaction with the girls. Just a brief interaction with Mary. So my interaction is mainly with the adults. And it feels so right and so comfortable when you're on stage with somebody who you completely trust where you're going with it, and the emotion comes out. And sharing the stage with Tiffany is awesome. Just the dynamic between the two of us and then the two characters, and I'm just really proud of the work, and I'm proud of this cast, and I'm just excited to show it to everyone.
Yeah.
All of our hard work and what we're doing.
Even just talking about it now, it all seems very collaborative and I can sense the camaraderie between the three of you, and even talking about your other cast members. And it's very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been good.
Yeah. It was interesting when all three of you were talking about your characters, how you sort of realize that all three of them are very much in denial about themselves in many different ways, where of course Martha may come off a bit more obvious if you sort of know the plot of the show and where it's heading. But sort of to see that in all the other characters and how that's sort of a theme of the show. And so I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
And we all wonder what's going to happen to Mary at the end. And
We were all theorizing about it. Like, did she get grounded? We had like worse options, but like we were like, did she get grounded? Did she have to go to boarding school?
A different boarding school.
A worse one.
There might
bars on
be padded cells.
A
Might be
boarding
medication
school.
involved. A very specific uniform. Possibly.
That rarely ever comes off,
Yeah.
straining in a way.
and to have her play that, because in fact, the grandmother Paige was saying, no, I think that she's really nice. I think she's real. I said, who are you kidding? Maybe you need to believe that for your character.
Yeah, like your grandma would say that.
But this is not the truth. She is not good.
She is
Sorry,
not
this
good.
is evil. She's evil. And we have to recognize that, we really do, because that's why it all happens.
There's not one thing she does for anyone else. It's all about her this whole time.
Absolutely. Yes, she wants her way.
It's like a sick
know?
day, like out of school. Like it's really the
They just don't want to go to school.
exactly.
I can't go to the boat races. Okay, fine.
I'll teach you to mess with me.
Yeah, exactly. And she says that. She tells him,
yeah.
I can handle my grandmother. I can do this.
Right?
And she's a bully, and she plays it off so well. I believe her.
She knows it.
Yeah.
I know.
And she wears it with pride.
Yeah, she's so aware.
Like a badge of honor.
Exactly.
She's so aware of her own evil.
Yes.
She really is.
Yes.
She's so
She
aware
knows
of
what she
how
can do.
manipulative
Yes.
she is. And it's like she's searching out for these
Yes.
ways to manipulate. She manipulates the girls, she manipulates the teachers, she manipulates her grandmother. And she's so self-aware, and I think that's what makes her even
That's
scarier.
like her superpower in this almost.
Yeah.
She knows what she can do, and she uses it for every
Yes.
little thing she wants.
Yes. Just writing she uses her position as like a little girl to like add legitimacy to her claims. Like it's
Oh my
her
God.
I've
mind,
done this.
Yes.
right?
So good.
Anyway.
She's excellent at it.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see it.
Me too.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned that you're taking credit for everything that we've talked about.
I have guided them, and I have encouraged them and challenged them, and I love them, and I tell them right away if they don't do well.
Would you mind giving credit to some of the other people on your production team while we have the time here?
No one else.
Alex Huey is my stage manager, and she's done this before, and she's great. I worked with Alex years and years ago, and so it was fun to get her back. Kylie is doing my lights. Sharon and Jim Ernsberger are doing the set and the set design. They're so wonderful. They really, really put it together. I have running the lights is Samantha. Her last name escapes me.
Armenta.
Yes. Okay. Good. She's running the lights, and then I have a new person, Briar Thompson. First time she's here and gonna do our lights. So it was good that we recruited some new people.
Yes,
In
always
addition
good.
to having some of our other people, but always it takes a village.
Yes,
It does, and I'm so proud of the fact that all these people are helping and doing such a great job. It really enhances the whole production. It just gives us all security that we're in good hands.
Would you mind speaking on the set design a little bit? Or is it focusing just on like the schoolhouse, or do we
Yeah,
see
the
other
schoolhouse, and then
locations?
we're gonna turn three parts of it, and it becomes the grandma's house. And I'm having blue light, and the cast is moving it.
Okay.
We're not gonna sit in the dark and do scene changes. I hate that. So we're just gonna change those three things, and on the other side of it becomes the grandmother's house, and the doorway becomes an arch. It's incredible. It's so
Yeah, that
cool.
sounds exciting.
I'm so proud of that. And so they came up with that because I definitely didn't want to have two elaborate sets that we had to move all the furniture and
Yes.
do all that. There's nothing more boring to me than watching that stuff. So, and everybody's so willing to move stuff and do things. I'm really proud. Everybody's going to play their part. So I'm very pleased.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's working like dogs. Moving the set around, and then
Except for me.
Yeah, she's not.
I
it
broke
extends
my
even
clavicle.
into reality.
She broke her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's almost fine now.
Yeah.
I might have to. Oh wait, no, it hurts
Yeah, I
so
was
bad. I
gonna
don't.
say
have to
almost fine.
I could, that is, can you believe it? I mean, here we are. I'm
Right,
sorry, Miss Toni.
already.
I broke my collarbone, and but I think I'll be in. I was just so scared.
All in the name of character art.
Yeah, I'm so scared. But she's a trooper. She's back. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we're good.
Did we talk about costumes yet? A little bit?
No, and Kathy Miller she's a marvel.
Oh, of course.
Oh my God, I love her. She's worked with me several times. You just tell her what you want. She's got a book. She puts pictures of everybody in there. She's one of the most wonderful costumers I've ever known. And I'm safe with her. She will find everybody's. She checks with me to make sure that this is okay, but her ideas are really on spot. And she keeps it the period. It's 1937.
I was about to ask, is this?
1937. So we have to watch that, And there's always somebody in the audience like, oh, that's not 1930s, That's a 1950s dress if I ever saw, So I really want to be careful about that. And she does. She's very good. Yeah, she's excellent. Thank you. I'm glad you brought her up.
Yeah,
because I love her.
Love to make sure everybody gets
Yes,
the credit
yes.
that they need.
Oh,
absolutely.
please.
Yeah.
I do try to tell them all. I swear I do.
Yeah. Well, I think thank you, all four of you, for joining me here today. Would you mind, you happen to know the opening dates for the show?
Yes.
Would like to tell us? Yes, I have a card right here. Wow. Performances begin September 13th at 8 p.m. You can buy tickets on chinocommunitytheater.org.
And on that night is a gala, and
Oh, yes.
we'll have a nice little gala and some food and stuff after you get to meet the cast. Saturday on the 14th is 2 for 1, so we can go through the box office to get 2 for 1 tickets. And on Sunday, that is going to be the 15th, is going to be a talk back. So we'll have the actors there and the crew to give you a talk back. So that's interesting.
Yes.
And the show runs all the way until September 29th. So it's going to be a good run. Please come.
Yes, please. I'm very excited to see this. I
Yes.
will be very transparent.
Yes.
I'll be looking for you.
Where?
I have to.
Where?
Yes, good.
All right,
Thank you.
great. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.
If you need insurance, Vince will work for you. Vince Polito is a local farmer's insurance agent who wants to help you out. Auto, home, renters, and more, open 8 to 5 on all weekdays. Over 35 years experience and licensed in 4 states. Call now. Thanks for listening to Steps to the Stage, and now it's time for the curtain call. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or any podcasting platform. We have videos up on YouTube, and you can visit our website at stepstothestage.buzzsprout.com. And as always, a special thank you to our audio engineer, Joey Rice, and our producer, Kirk Lane. Without the two of you, this show would not be possible.